What is up, Six Squares and Straight? This is Shy. So, before I actually start my short kind of vlog, I first want to wish everybody who's Jewish a happy Passover, and anybody who's not Jewish for Sunday a happy Easter, I guess you can say. Don't know much about it, but there you go. Um, I also want to quickly update you guys on the audition aspect of stuff. It's kind of really hard because I only got about 2 or 3 auditions and it's just not cutting it. So, um, I feel bad for the people who have sent in auditions that if we don't get enough that I'm gonna have to do it again, but that's what's gonna have to happen. Right now there's only like 2 or 3 auditions and we need to fill 6 spots. So we need more than 6 auditions because we need to have to pick through. So we need about at least 10. So we need to pick through and eliminate people. So um, it doesn't really look like it's going to happen, which is kind of very upsetting. But I'm going to probably end up talking to Brittany about it. But it's just that's been disappointing on that aspect. I mean, I thought we would get more people, but we haven't. Um, but I don't know. We'll figure something out. So that's the matter of the audition aspect. If you know anybody who would want to be on this channel as a weekly or a sub, feel free. As usual, if you have any questions, I'm going to put all my contact info as usual. Um, so I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of a short update, not too long. I know I haven't been here in a few weeks. It's been crazy busy for me. The Hunger Games came out, so I was busy with that week, and then it's just like, it seems like there's been constant stuff I've been doing. I actually have stuff I have to really do for myself that I've been setting myself back on, and it's bad. It doesn't help that Passover has been the coming up event, which is the now event slash holiday, so yeah, and I'm gonna talk about one thing that I'm kind of upset a little bit about. That's like, it's a positive thing, it's a great thing, but it's just still upsetting. So let's see what to update on. Um, Job wise, nothing's different. I pretty much have decided I really need to work on finding a part time job because there's a good possibility, and I have to talk with my friend about this, that I'll be able to move in with them if they find a new place. That's not necessarily this year, but it could be next year, but I'm fine with waiting if I have to. Um, if I find a part time job and I make enough money, or even a full time job, um, that I could live with them and I could give them the certain amount per month because basically they have enough that they could find a new place if they really wanted to for a 2 bedroom. They don't have enough for a 3 bedroom, so they would need extra money. So if I had got a job and whatnot, there'd be no problems for a 3 bedroom. So that's pretty much my goal right now. That and something else, which I'll talk about in a second. So, because I've been at my friend's house multiple times. I've actually have lived there at a point when my other friend wasn't living there. So that's my goal right now because I can tell I'm miserable living at home. I mean, I'm in my lower 20s. So, I mean, everybody's different. Some people, they could live at their parents' house forever. Some people can't. But for me, I'm in my late early to mid 20s and I can't really take it anymore. And I have certain things I know I want to do, but I have to work towards it. So there's certain other things I need to do in order to get to that point. So I'm lucky I have friends I could use as a stepping stone towards that. So that's the basis of that. So that's the main goal I'm working on. I do have to talk with my friend about it, of what's the situation and whatnot, and if it's possible in the next year when they look for apartments, that if I do find a part-time job, if I can live with them, because it's just like, I could, like my mom even said to me, she's like, I can tell that you hate being at home and that when you're outside of the house that you're a lot happier. And I am. I'm a lot happier when I'm not home. I sleep a lot better. But I just don't like their living situation right now. I can't live with them. So That's the gist of that. And it's not only because they have a two-bedroom. It's just there's no possible way I could even live there. So the other thing is that I was told I got into the auxiliary. So great, awesome, right? And then I called them and they said, "Oh, you would have to go to headquarters." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then they called me back saying you need to call back, and I kept on calling them back, and I haven't heard anything yet. But I haven't been able to call within the past few days because I've been really busy for getting ready for the holidays, so that's been very stressful. And I don't know. I mean, they should have called me back, but they haven't. So it's kind of like, what's going on? So I'm definitely gonna leave them another message because I'm like, I thought I was supposed to go to headquarters. So I mean, it does look like I did get the job, but I mean, it is volunteer, but it's working towards becoming a regular police officer. Um, but it's kind of a letdown that they haven't really, like, I mean, I've been stepping in and not just sitting back and not doing anything and waiting for their calls. I've been actually actively doing stuff. So it's frustrating that I haven't heard anything back. I've gotten a lot of questions pertaining to the auxiliary and stuff. I mean, I haven't started it yet, so I can't really tell you, but I could tell you from the process of what I've seen. I actually have been placed in a different, um, I guess you can say, district, or whatever you want to call it. No, different precinct. God, it's freaking sleepy. A different precinct than I originally intended to, and I don't know why they did. Did they? My assumption is because it's just the one that's where I live, so it's like the most convenient, and it seems to be they need people, so that's probably why they did that. I mean, the other place needed people too, but I guess they got the amount they needed, so it seems to be that by me they're more desperate, so that's probably why they put me there. But I mean, I'm perfectly fine with doing auxiliary and being volunteer there, and I mean, the NYPD is very good with the auxiliary at being very stealth. I'm not even kidding. The only time I've ever seen an auxiliary police officer, not on the streets, I've never seen them on the streets. They're very good at being stealth. I've never even seen them in a police car, literally. Um, Maybe once, but barely. And I know so many people like auxiliary. What's that? Most people don't even know about the auxiliary here. But the only time I ever saw it was at like the Ren Fair in New York City ish. So I mean, they do big events, but when they do stuff that's closer to home, they're very good about keeping them. I guess you call them stealth. It's kind of funny saying stealth because it's funny saying stealth for me because me being trans. So I mean, it's definitely, and my birds are chirping now because I sneezed. It's definitely interesting, to know that a lot of New York City people don't know about auxiliary and what they do and whatnot. So I've learned a lot about that, but there's a lot more learning for me to do. But it's definitely a good stepping stone for me. And it's like, I'd rather do this and do my volunteer and, get to that point and, get to know, like, there's so many people I've talked to that have been in the auxiliary that said, you don't want to go to the 4 years, because in the NYPD, the requirements of becoming a police officer, like taking their exams and stuff, this is not becoming a police officer. This is just like the exams is having 4 years of college. There's no fucking way I'm going to rot in college for 4 years, being bored with whatever subject I do, because pretty much anything I want to do is 2 years of college, not 4 years of college. So I'm not going to go to school for 4 years and be miserable just because I want to become a police officer. And I knew that I can do auxiliary and eventually work my way up and become a police officer. So that's pretty much what I want to do. And I don't really know. I do know someone who's transgender. I met at a trans support group that did the auxiliary, and they seem to only say good things about it. And I've only had good experiences with them. But I'll have to talk about this another time, I guess. But there's a lot of stigma on NYPD and on police, and I think that it's a big misunderstanding with people. A big misunderstanding. But I'm gonna stop because I could go ranting on and on. I'm gonna go do this on my separate channel. Alright, guys? I'll talk to you guys soon.